session. I'm about to forget. Okay, now welcome, Sol. What brought you to today's workshop?
Do you know Nico Diaz?
Yes.
He told me to come.
Good. Nico started at the salon and then he grew up and found his way and now he doesn't come up, which I love because um if the salon could help you find confidence in your writing and in your creative work to the point that you commit to it and then you go on and follow your path, I love it for you. Maciel is one of those people. She barely comes through here, but I know Maciel is working. She's out there doing her thing. Um, and I see it all the time. So I'm happy. You don't need to be here all the time, but I hope that, you find family and confidence whenever you come into these workshops, however long that may take for you. It doesn't need to be immediate. There's no urgency to that. What you put into the salon is what you get from it. Okay. It's a wonderful place for you to meet people who can relate to you. As you saw, Lourdes, everyone was relating to your journal um, question. Um, what happened to Jasenia? Did she leave? She was just here. Um,
It
so
was
yeah,
me. I had like three emails connected to my Zoom.
óyela a ella. Okay, well,
Good morning, guys.
let Jasenia know I sent her an email,
I
but you were
will.
copied on it too, so.
Yes, yes, we know. I think she hasn't answered yet. I think she told me
No,
she did. Okay,
no,
so maybe she forgot. I'll remind her.
probably in her drafts. So, we are in the third week of January, I guess. And with the first three workshops that we hosted, the first two, I think we've only done two. Um, I always ask you all, what is it that you need? What is it that you're working on? What can we help you with? So I decided to put together this monthly, we're going to go month by month, right? So it's going to be this monthly writing lab where it's called Returning to the Page, an immersive 4-week writing lab. So we're going to start for February. It's going to be 4 weeks of you tuning in. It's not going to be a workshop. I'm just going to talk a little bit, but it's more for you to come and write with other people, um, whatever it is that you need to work on. Okay. It's on the website. So it's a 90-minute session, intentionally structured to support your actual progress, focus on teaching and short, purposeful and applicable. It's a guided writing time on your real project, reflection and integration, no pressure to share. Um, the writing lab is for people who already have a project, whether it's a draft, an idea, or a work in progress. For people who want to structure without rigidity, for people who are returning after a pause, after burnout or interruption, for people who value process over productivity, and for those who want to write, with others quietly and intentionally. So if this calls your attention, it's on the website. I will also share via our newsletter. So if you are subscribed, um, you will receive that information as well. Okay. Um, so the plan is to do this monthly. So right now we're on February. We'll see how that goes, if it's helping, if it's not, and then we can continue on to March. Um, and let me just put the link in the chat and you both could read up on it. What else we have? We have a reading series for those people who are interested in reading Julia Alvarez in depth with a group of people. We have a reading series dedicated to Julia Alvarez is 9 books of hers, and that's part of the book club. Also I'm sending that out through newsletter, but if you go on our Instagram account, you'll see that we posted. And if you click on the link in our bio, you could register for the book club series. I posted unit 1 on because the first book we're reading is In the Time of the Butterflies. We're going to go in on that book. It's not going to be surface level discussion. It's actual critical thinking and analysis of her body of work. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, if you want your friends to join you, if you want a teen or you want to share it with your class, it's going to be over Zoom. On a Sunday, the meetings are twice a month. So we're discussing one book twice a month. And I think for now, that's it. For those of you who don't know, the Dominican Writers Conference is coming back May 1st through May 3rd. We hosted the first Dominican Writers Conference in 2019 at City College. We have over 300 Dominican writers, Dominican American writers show up. We had writing workshops. We had consultations with literary agents. We had manuscript reviews. We had panel discussions on the state of Dominican American writing. You do not need to be Dominican to attend, but it is a Dominican American conference. So if you're not Dominican, se van a jaltar of Dominican stuff, just so you know. Okay, because it is the only conference that's been done to talk about just Dominican writers in the diaspora. Okay, the first conference brought Dominican writers from all over the US, even DR, even Paris, even Europe, from all over, because again, this is the only conference. And I haven't hosted the conference since 2019 because of the pandemic, and also because I was having a difficult time finding a space to host the conference. But last year we spoke to John Jay. They're happy to help us with the space, and we're good to go. I will announce pretty soon who we are honoring this year. And I hope you guys are as excited as I am with who we are honoring. There's going to be some surprises along the way. If you want to volunteer, stay tuned because I will post a volunteer form. Volunteers attend the conference for free, but you will be working, just to let you know. You're not going to be sitting down somewhere enjoying everything. No. If I get to run around, the volunteers will be running around helping out too. But it's free, and you could just be in charge of making sure you could just be in charge of a room and making sure that whatever is happening in that room happens on time, ends on time, put out any fires in that room, whatever. So whatever happens in that room, you enjoy. If we need you, you got to pull out and just come to where we need you. Okay, so if you're interested, stay tuned because I will share that. If you are a writer and you want to make a proposal for us to have a specific activity at the Dominican Writers Conference, we will also send out a form for you to send your proposal of a writing workshop, of a panel, or some sort of activity that to happen during the Writers Conference. Okay, so I have no life for the next 5. Actually till August, because after the conference is the writers retreat. We have 2 writers retreat this year. One is in the Zona Colonial, and a week after it's at Cabarete. So again, I have no life, and the only month I will have off will be August because once September starts, I really have no life once again. Any questions, comments, concerns? I usually don't share so much in the beginning for those who are just starting here. Yes, Marciela, I am a John Jay alumni. Uh, um, ¿Qué más? Okay, so let's start with today's workshop. Oh, hold on. Because I always forget where's the I always forget the timer. Rosita, nice to see you. I was concerned. We haven't seen you in the last few workshops. I hope everything is okay. Here's the timer. Okay. So share. Can everyone see the presentation?
Yes,
Yes?
I can see
Okay.
it.
So, today's writing workshop is write what you've been circling. Where did this thing go? Give me a sec. Because, qué bien. Okay, I lost the timer. So most writers carry at least one piece of writing that they cannot seem to enter. It may be a scene, a memory, a truth, or a moment that feels too close, too charged, or too complicated to name directly. Instead of writing it, we circle it. We write around it, gesture toward it, or leave it half formed on the page. This circling is not avoidance, it's often a sign that the material matters. Today's workshop is designed to help you move closer to that work through writing itself rather than approaching the piece through analysis or explanation. We will approach it through the presence, allowing the body, memory, and language to guide the writing forward without requiring resolution or clarity. You are not expected to get it right, finish anything, or shape the work for an audience. The goal is entry, to step inside the material long enough to see what it offers when you stay with it. Write what you can, leave what you can, let the work reveal itself at its own pace. So the first prompt is naming without entering. Before we write the thing, we need to stop pretending we don't know what it is. Naming creates honesty without exposure. The thing, right? The thing I've been circling is I know it matters because I avoided when. You have 15 minutes for this prompt. I'm going to stop. Yeah, starting. I'm going to reshare the prompt now. Okay, I just needed to put the timer. Um, don't think about it too long. Just write it. No one is looking at this but you. Okay, the next prompt is locating the resistance. Difficult material often announces itself physically before it becomes language. When I get close to this thing, I feel it in it feels light. If this feeling had texture, weight, or temperature, it would be. Answer those three questions for the next 10 minutes. Okay, next prompt is entering without defense. We often delay writing by explaining. This prompt removes that protection. Write about begin in the middle of that moment. Start with an action, a sensation, or a line of dialogue. Do not explain where we are or why it matters. You have 10 minutes for this prompt. Okay, the next prompt is writing through fear. Fear often guards the most honest language. Writing through it loosens the gate. The prompt is, if I write this fully, I'm afraid it will reveal that what I don't want to admit is. You have 10 minutes. Okay, next prompt. Saying it the way you haven't. This is not the version meant for readers. This is the version meant for truth. The prompt is to write in the way you've only said it in your head. Use the language you usually edit out. Do not soften or explain. Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes. Next prompt in is staying after the impulse to leave. Writers often leave the page just before something happens. The prompt is to return to the moment you just wrote. What happens next if you stay physically, emotionally, or internally? And the last prompt is listening instead of deciding. The work knows what it needs before we do. The prompt is this piece is asking me to. If I keep writing it, I may need to let go of. This is the final prompt. Okay, we're done with the prompts. How are we feeling? And does anyone want to share? So Leslie said she loves the workshop because it mixes what we think about the process and it helps us write our writing project in the same workshop. So it's like journaling about the process, our feelings, but not leaving the work. Thanks for the workshop today. You're welcome. Elizabeth Guerra said, I'm off to the races, writing a bunch. Leslie says she's feeling good. Elizabeth says she's feeling heavy, but moving through it. I love that. Okay, folks. How come I don't? Oh, there's Elizabeth. I'm like, how come I don't see? Maciel se le duelen los dedos. Okay, I was a little bit hesitant because the workshop is about confronting all the things that you're not saying, right? And maybe avoiding, but it seems that you all received it and put yourself, challenge yourselves, right? So, Lourdes, I'm gonna start with you. How you feel?
Wow. So I mean, I feel really grateful. So I'm really thankful that, something in me was uncomfortable today and was, you know, whatever. Like, I'm just so used to, checking email and doing this. Like, that's how my attention stuff goes. And I'm so grateful that I found the workshop because this is exactly what I was talking about, right? I was talking about how, like, I have a hard time journaling. And for me, that's like almost like a precursor to starting to write the thing. And so I wrote something. Like I wrote one of my creative pieces while we were doing this and also exploring like why am I so afraid to write this? And I'm afraid to write this because I'm afraid to make mistakes in public and have other people see these mistakes and have my words like not have that make that much meaning and blah blah blah. And so like your prompts really got me to think about I'm just really scared of putting something on paper because I think it's going to be judged. And so when I write, even when I journal, it's like I'm thinking about this imaginary audience that doesn't exist. Like, and so what? So I'm feeling like really grateful. And yeah, that's really it.
So writing is a very vulnerable action because we're putting ourselves on the paper, we're putting our true selves on the paper. But this is the perfect space for you to share that because everyone here, I'm going to say the majority at least, feels like you or has felt like you are feeling now. Um, So, yeah, I'm glad that this helped you and that you finally put pen to paper and got some of that out. And I hope you come back. Um, Gerald, you want to share something? ¿Cómo te fue?
Before we I think what helped, I liked it, especially because I think it touched on some of the things I was thinking about earlier, like journaling in a way that connects to um the creative process. And I think that's something that I'm going to take with me as I move forward. And I think about journaling is journaling in that way of approaching like the challenges and the hopes and expectations and the ideas around writing. And it helped me think about a larger project that part of the reason I came today, right? It was thinking about a project that I've been working on and off for years, honestly, and it was a project that got me more fully into writing regularly. And then it kind of fell by the wayside as I explored other projects because I hit a tough, I think, emotional
That you
space
didn't want
with
to
it.
face.
Yeah, and I think that this was helpful, and I think naming what those emotional challenges are. So I did really enjoy the prompts. I think they very much helped me, I think, tap into that and was helpful in thinking back and like going back to this larger project that I had been working on in the past to face it a little bit better. So thank you.
Beautiful. How does everyone else feel? And is there anyone else who wants to share their response to one of the prompts?
I'll share like my process. I really like the first prompt. I mean, I don't know if this was what we were supposed to do, but I think me trying to figure out which one was the first prompt of like naming without answering. So of course, I gave like really simple answers, like what is it that I'm talking about? I'm of course writing in code here in case anybody finds this journal. So I'm like, that thing. But then I kind of like made like a little chart and was trying to break things down into things that can help me write about that thing before I get there. So I made like a little chart, like setting people, emotions, actions, and then I just started listing basically a bunch of things of everything that I could talk about before I get to what I don't want to talk about. So I could talk about the people that were around me, what I smelled in like great, great detail. So I just started like listing everything that I remember with this memory and like everyone I'm gonna start talking shit about, all that good stuff, especially like the emotions. I think there were a lot of contradicting emotions, which is also why I was having such a hard time writing the piece. Because like there's resentment, but there's forgiveness and like learning forgiveness. And like writing the both is sometimes hard, especially for me, because I obviously focus more on like the negative. So I'm writing more in the resentment section instead of the like, okay, now how are we gonna grow up? That kind of thing. So I really like prompt number
So
one
it
because
sounds like purging,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that you can move on to what you really want to do,
Exactly.
right?
So that kind of set up everything.
Like
That's why I said like,
a writing exorcism.
yeah, we love those. But yeah,
Oh,
it
great.
really helped me like see that maybe I'm not ready to talk about that one thing yet, but that doesn't mean I could talk about everything that happened around it. I don't know. It was kind of like backwards, but it worked.
Okay, it sounds great. Nice. Sol, how you feel about today's workshop?
Hey, can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
good. I feel like I just woke up from a sleep and I'm like tired, but that's probably because I put some stuff on the page. Um, and yeah, um, it wasn't hard to name because I know what's hard for me to write about, but it was like to name it and to let it happen was probably the biggest thing for me rather than like how the line of, don't write it, write in your words, don't write it how people want you to hear it, you know? That was helpful. I don't think I had the I'm just gonna stop there. Yeah.
I'm glad you made some breakthrough. That's what it sounds like. You made a breakthrough. And also, this is not something that you need to keep. You could just put those emotions on the paper, ball up that paper, and throw it out and start anew. Now that you know, now that you've identified what it is, now that you've confronted what it is, you could just put that to the side and said, I'm not going to let you stand in my way anymore, right? And I'm going to go for what I really want, which is for to delve deep into that project that you have, that eventually you want to complete, right? Because our biggest obstacles are ourselves. Okay, nobody here knows what you're working on unless you've shared it with somebody, but nobody knows. Those are intimate details that only belong to you, right? So often we put this pressure on ourselves that, like Sol said, we have to write a certain way for a very specific audience. So how do I say this? It's kind of like it's like kind of performative, right? Performative writing. Just be you, write in your voice, forget about who's reading it, right? Forget about I'm going to be judged for forget about all of that and just do the thing that you need to do. And then eventually you slowly share. Um But yeah, we are our biggest obstacles, and we need to figure out a way to not stand in our own way, right? So, Elizabeth, do you want to share? I'm listening to you guys, cleaning up after my dog, but go ahead. No, Elizabeth, you don't want to share?
Sorry, my son just came back in from outside, and he's full of snow. What was the question that you asked?
Is there anything that you want to share about this workshop?
Um, I would say, no, just I'm sorry, my son. No, I think folks already mentioned just feeling like lots of gratitude. And I'm just uh there's been this not block, but I know exactly what it was, but didn't want to confront it. And so this forced me to just confront something that's always been on my brain. I just didn't know how to approach. And so it's been the different prompts helped to kind of give name and face to it. And so yeah, I'm just writing. It's helped to kind of like unblock a bunch of stuff that I know I didn't know how to write about it. And so whatever is happening, it's working. So I'm just kind of quietly trying to get things going here.
Love it. Okay. What about you, Natasha?
Nothing dramatic to add. Yeah, the biggest block I think is the audience in my head, and then I stop writing and start making rebuttals or trying to convince you or trying to justify the responses I know I'm getting that I'm making up in my head. So just thinking about different tactics to kind of circumvent that. So maybe it is writing a bunch of rebuttals and then going back to what I need to say anyway.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
I'll take it. Oh, sorry. It was very quick.
After Jenny, you could go, Rosita. Go ahead, Jenny.
Yeah. I like this format. I think like just being able to write straight through the prompts without stopping to like share also removes the performative aspect of writing. I think that was like not meshing with me like in other writing workshops where it's just like, okay, this interruption is like getting me out of my writing space. And then I'm like super hyper aware of if I'm going to share, like, is this good enough to share or, going into other people's mental spaces in the middle of our own writing process also is disruptive.
Okay, I'm glad that's helpful. So all of our writing workshops are like this. All of our Sunday writing salons are like this. We go straight through the prompts, and at the end, I give you all an opportunity to share. Just so you could just be in the writing and focus on that. Rosita, you were going to share something?
Yes, I love to. So I like to read a little bit from prompts 5, 6, and 7. 5 being the say in the way you haven't.
Okay, for
And
the sake of timing, let's keep it short, okay? Because you're sharing
okay,
three different prompts, all right?
I usually say it in the version meant for truth. I write it in the way I hear it in my head. I do not edit it out. I do not soften or explain because that is exactly what draws my reader to my page, my openness and my vulnerability. By the way, for those who don't know me, I'm writing my memoirs. My sharing invites their sharing. My self-awareness helps their minds to click. My see-through invites their see-through. I mirror their innermost secrets. My insights helps them draw conclusions about their own experiences. My writing is a continuous consciousness racing. So I talk about moving from the page, prompt 6. To me, being away from the page is as important as being on the page because even though I'm not sitting in front of the page, my head is continuing. What do I want to do next? So during the time that I've been away, I'm thinking that I want to do my book, my memoirs in like 3 parts. One is the infancy, and then part B will be biographical sketches of my family members, and part C would be excerpts from today, from family correspondence, which would be a mix of childhood memories as shared in my adulthood as I'm aging. And the last is 7, listen instead of deciding. So if I keep on writing it, I may need to let go of any coherence. Just write it for the sake of writing. I am feeling pressured to produce. Maybe in the future, if I get a job as a writer somewhere, I can do that. Just write for the sake of writing, even if I deprive my readers of a gentle invite to look inside themselves. It would just be words on paper with the only goal to filling up the page for the exchange of money. Filling up a page is not my goal. My goal is to dredge. And so this helped me. This workshop really helped me hone in on my goal. My goal is to dredge the muck that was forcefully rammed down my psyche by family, church, school, and state when I was growing up. My goal is to invite others to grow with me by looking at my reality from an angle that varies from the officially approved one. To look at reality with the eyes of self and not with the eyes of those institutions. To me, this is revolutionary. When I was little, my Aunt Conchita would say when I enter her house, the revolution has arrived. She thought I was the revolution.
I love that.
That's it.
Thank you. Rosita came out with all the powers, todos los poderes from her short vacation. Thank you, Rosita, for sharing.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Idalme, you wanted to share something?
I just wanted to say that for me, I think it's about like managing the emotions that
Yep.
what I'm gonna write is gonna like bring up in me. Like I'm afraid of the feelings that it's gonna bring up. And also like of being vulnerable, potentially like it just feels like being naked in front of a large crowd. And I think that that is what's holding me back, those emotions. And I'm trying to work through them. I think that like everything that you asked, I think really pushed me a lot today, and I feel heavy. But I feel more ready and challenged in a positive way, especially when you said that we're our own obstacles and that really no one knows what you're writing, which is true. So I need to write what I need to write it this year. This year can't end without me writing this thing that I need to write. So it has to happen. I don't give a fuck. Sorry, excuse my language. I'm gonna have to suffer through it, but I have to. And I hope that we all have the courage to speak our truth, to share what we have to say, because I think that like we have something to say, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that is something that we were brought into this world to share, and we have to say what we have to say. So I hope we can all get there.
Thank you, Idalme. All right. So,
Angie, can I
any
say something? I'm sorry.
Jelenis, yes, I was going to
Yeah.
ask if there was anyone else.
Thank you. Sorry. And this is not really what I sound like, but I'm like very sick. But I wanted to just like affirm everything that I've heard so far. And feeling like I'm in good company, starting with what Lourdes said at the beginning of the workshop around journaling. And like feeling for myself at least that it was a process of just like being able to record my life, in a way, but not necessarily process, not necessarily put the emotions that needed to go into it, and confronting how those things have shaped me to this day, and then being able to use that to write my truth, right? And to find your truth it's something that never stops and it's never ending. And in this point in my life is just like, okay, I'm writing it because I can't put it down anymore. And it comes out in these spaces, it comes out and it's been a very spiritual experience.
Oh,
And
thank
I'm
you.
getting emotional because I'm also sick, but it's like the process of like opening yourself and being raw and vulnerable. Um, there's so much fear in that because of the judgment for yourself personally, not even so much the judgment of others, but it's like the most liberating thing to be able to do this. And it's just like, it's inevitable. That's how it feels. And it feels inevitable and it feels right and it feels timely. And I'm just grateful for the space.
Thank you, Yelenis. I swear to God that I prepare these workshops and, you know, I never think about the impact that it's going to have on you all. And I'm like, oh, I just hope they like it. But then, when I hear how it resonates with you all, um, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're getting something out of it. Is there anyone else who wants to share who didn't get a chance? Leslie, I think you shared in the chat. I don't know if you want to voice anything. You good? Okay. So yes, because Leslie was asking in the chat, what are we doing next week? So I pay attention to all your needs. I ask questions, there's an intention behind it, and it's because this is how I could tell what kind of workshops are you all going to need, right? So as you were talking about emotional challenges when you're putting your pen to the paper, I was here taking some notes on how I could work something out for you all for that topic, right? So next week we're writing about the topic is start where it hurts, then stay there. Okay. So some writing avoids pain by circling around it, summarizing, explaining, or leaving too early. This workshop invites writers to begin inside the emotional center of a moment and remain there long enough for meaning to emerge. So you're going to write directly from moments of tension, vulnerability, or conflict without resolving them or shaping them for an audience. The focus is on presence rather than narrative control, allowing the writing to deepen by staying with what is difficult instead of moving past it. Okay, so I put the link in the chat so that you could all RSVP. If there's any topic that calls your attention, do let me know. And just keep writing, folks. I hope to see you all next week, even though I perceive that most of us are gonna sit here and cry through through the writing prompts. But that's okay. Okay. Again, nobody knows what you're writing. Nobody is reading it unless you share it. But this is for you so that you could get over this hump and become the best that you can be. I just want to see you all flourish. Okay. I don't know how many of you are in Manhattan, but starting next February, we have like these open mic storytelling events around the domino table. So if you guys want to come through, you don't need to share, but it's inspiring to see other people sharing. Sometimes we come to events and say, I'm not sharing, but once you see people be brave enough to go up to the mic and share something, then you be like, you know what? I think I got a little something, something. Even if it's two sentences, you get inspired. And then little by little, you start joining more open mics and more readings and more storytelling sessions. And next thing you know, se fue el miedo. Okay, that's how it starts, baby steps. So I'm inviting you to these events, porque a mí se me olvida what's the name, but it's on the website. It's called Palabras en Juego, un micrófono abierto desde la mesa de dominó, which means we will have domino tables and we're going to play some dominoes and we're going to have an open mic and storytelling session. And it's also a great opportunity for you to meet in person. and talk to each other because that's how you build community. Okay, not just virtually, but in person. I'm a big introvert, so it gets me takes a lot for me. As a matter of fact, I only go out because I have to do these things in person. Okay, otherwise yo estoy en mi casa. But but yes, let's all come out, have some fun, meet people, meet other writers, and do what we need to do. Okay. So Sol, I think you said you wanted to say something.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Sol, Emilio. I also host a workshop, but it's in the Bronx. And I want to invite you guys to come this Saturday, towards it. It's at Boogie Down Grind Cafe, 1 to 4 p.m. And yeah, I guess thank you, Angie, for hosting the workshop. It was really great. I have been circling the topic and have been meaning to write on it, so this is a chance to really write on it. Um, and yeah, if you want to get feedback on your writing, you want to share your writing that you just aren't sure about, and you need a place for that, it would be that place, you know? And yeah, let me get that powerful. Actually, I think the quickest way. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of things. I do be performing in the writing community in New York. Um, and I've been trying to make a website for writers to get feedback. And you can find all the stuff through there. I also have an event calendar for people to like find writing events, just like this one, of course. And our open mics as
Oh,
well.
you
So if you ever
busy. Good
want to
luck with
perform,
that.
yeah, I'm doing a lot. And I'm happy to be here by the
Keeping
Dominicans,
up with all the writing events in the city.
Yes, there's a lot, and I haven't just writing events. I do like sometimes I include the comedies, the dance nights also. So I really
También.
am open to a lot. Yeah, yeah. So for example, I just started connecting with a lot of DJs recently, and I started like a coffee rave in the same location. Actually, it's gonna be the same location we do the workshop. So you want to come towards the workshop and then dance afterwards? You can come through. It'll be
Okay.
a vibe.
Boten el golpe, como dice mi mamá, bailando una bachatica or something.
See, café con
Um,
ron.
so you're the person behind Plum, what's it called? Plum
Plum
Bum?
bum. Plum bum. Sometimes people say plum boom or like I don't know. It's just a fun word.
What does the name mean?
Is Latin. Lead, like
Oh,
lead
like
anvil,
pluma
like pluma.
and the boom?
Oh, it's just how you say it. It's Latin. Plum bum. It's just funny to me. When I came up with it,
Okay.
it just sounded funny.
So this, if you click on the link, folks, it takes you to sort of like a link tree type of
Hmm.
page. Um, and he has a Saturday 1 p.m. writers workshop next Saturday.
And cafetato, the coffee rave.
A coffee rave. Grab a coffee
Yes.
and dance. And you do this at the cafe at what's it
Yes.
called? The Boogie Down
The
Grind?
Boogie Down Grind Cafe. Yeah.
Who's the owner of that cafe?
Majora Carter.
That's what part of the Bronx is that?
That's Hunts Point. So from you guys, I think it'd just be the 6 bus straight down.
$6 if you find it. So I wish you all the best because Hunts Point is not for me.
Oh, that's funny.
But if you ever want to tag us, we will be more than happy to share. Nico always shares his writing events or whatnot. We have a WhatsApp writers community también. So if there's like events that you want to share, hold on, let me see. See, like you, there's just so much. Okay, that's the Substack. But somewhere, where's the writers, the WhatsApp? Déjame ver. Give me a sec. Um, no, I can't find it. But you could email me and I'll send it to you. I'm trying to figure out this on my desktop WhatsApp. But if you want the link to the WhatsApp group, let me know. Leslie,
What's your email?
it's info at Dominican Writers. Bye, Maciel.
Thank you.
Please remind Yesenia that I emailed her.
Will do. Bye. Nice meeting everyone.
Bye. Oh, Natasha left. She said, thank you for the care and intention. She has to go. Nice meeting you all. This was great. Bye. All right. Okay, folks. I'm letting you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Angie. It's wonderful.
Okay. Have a good afternoon.